wanted to shake it up a little bit, and we wanted to just, I guess, make a show of faith that it doesn't matter where we have church, we can have church.
Amen.
And I got to think about something this morning. Someone told me that Keith was going to tell me to open up, so I was thinking when I was getting ready, you know, some people might look at us and say, man, that's a little goofy, that's a little wild that we're out on a boat leading worship from it, but, you know, if we think about sports, you think about Cam Newton. Cam Newton has all those fancy outfits, and everybody talks about his fancy outfits. You know, and that's us this morning. We're the Cam Newton of Jesus right now.
Amen.
You know, we're out here trying new things. We're out here. It doesn't matter where we lead worship from. It's just our job right now is to connect Jesus, the church, to you. And it doesn't matter how we do it. It doesn't matter where we do it. It matters how we do it and how we present it and how we just lift him up. You know, last time we had an awesome service out there. The reactions we had, the comments we had along. I mean, it was evident it wasn't just me out there that was feeling it. It was known throughout the week that service. I saw that service pop up on my feed multiple times as people were just watching it throughout the week. So this week I encourage you to use this as a reference point for your week. Let this lift you up. It's a brand new week. Like I said, you see all this water out here, and it's there may not be anybody in sight but us. But we're going to lift him up this morning. We encourage you to lift him up with us. If you're on, drop a comment down there. Let us know you're on. Let's share this with your friends. We just want to lift him up this morning. So we're gonna. I think this is appropriate for this. It says,
We ain't got loud piano, but join in. You can harmonize. I harmonize might not be the best, but it's not for each other. It's for him. Join us and share right now. Share it with people. Let them know that there are still people worshiping God, no matter what the circumstances. They told me it was going to rain. They said, they called me, it's going to rain on you. I said, no, God said it wasn't going to rain. Look, the sun is shining, but I'll tell you there's another sun. Oh gosh. Go ahead, Evan. You better start.
Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness, my God, that is who
You girls up there can sing too.
Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness, my God, that is who you are. You are here.
Anyway.
You're moving in our midst. We worship you. We worship you. You are here. You're turning lives around. We worship you. We worship you. You are a waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness, my God, that is who you are. Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness, my God, that is who you are. 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 Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness, my God, that is who you are.
We need to get some blowhorn next time, I believe. We can come up through here, get them out on their porches and their houses that God has given them, and their boats that's coming by. We can give them Jesus no matter what we do.
You're a good, good Father.
such a beautiful day that we get up this morning. Let's pray. Let's pray. There've been a lot of people. Bob, I know you called me and you said that your wife they called her and gave her the bad news and said that she had cancer. But in the name of Jesus, we pray for her right now. We rebuke that cancer. We ask God to dry it up right now in the name of Jesus. Aunt Betty, we know you called me yesterday and you was hurting, and I know you're feeling better today, but Jesus is there. He's going to continue to keep pressing. He's going to continue to heal and deliver. He's just that kind of a God. He ain't just going to give up halfway. You know, a lot of us do something when we get a quarter of a way, we turn around and go back. But Jesus don't do that. We pray for each and every one in the name of Jesus. God, if they be a lost one out there, God, touch their heart today. Touch their mind, Father, where they come back to you, God. Where they recognize that empty spirit, that empty space in them, God, isn't the lack of alcohol or the lack of drugs, but the lack of the Holy Ghost, the lack of the Father calling them back unto Him. You got another one, brother?
We sing this bridge. It says, "You're perfect in all of your ways. You are perfect in all of your ways. You are perfect in all of your ways to us. You are perfect in all of your ways. You are perfect in all of your ways. You are perfect in all of your ways to us. You're a good, good Father. It's who you are. It's who you are. It's who you are. And I'm loved by you. It's who I am. It's who I am. It's who I am. You're a good, good Father.
Wow. Listen, God spoke this week when we were praying. I don't know. I just said, I don't want to follow everybody else. I want to follow Jesus. And where Jesus went was places we don't know who's listening. Up on the mountaintops, we're in a valley. We carry with the name of Jesus. And we don't know who's going to hear something. But when Jesus went, He didn't went into the most perfect places. He went to wherever the people needed Him. There's a lot of people that comes up and down fishing on the bank and on the shores and on their porches today. And I hope someone hears the name of Jesus. I hope someone attracts the name of Jesus to their spirit and takes them back with them. And I know it's cool. It may be hard to preach because I like to stand up and jump and run, but I'm going to try to sit down on this one here because Dusty's going to have to dive in the water and get the iPad out before we lose everything on it. But we're coming from John 21 today. John 21. And I was like, well, Lord, when I was reading it and studying, I was like, God, I want to do something. And I had no idea that Sister Ashley told Dusty, said, we're going to just preach on the boat. I already had it in my mind. I said, I'd like to preach on the boat, but the boat I got is little. I said, I surely tip it over with Evan. And they said, let's use the pontoon. I said, we ain't God good. He's a good, good Father. He's a good, good Father. And we're coming from John 21 today. Verse 1. Share. Make sure people hear this word today. When I get it, God gave me the subject of you can't afford to look back now. You can't afford to turn back now. You can't afford, oh God, I'm telling you, you can't afford to. You've come too far. I'm telling people, right there, somebody right there, you've come too far. You're listening now. And you're sitting there thinking, well, maybe I just can't go no further. Everything's went, I'm just going to go back to what I know. No, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Hang on to Jesus. After these things, Jesus showed Himself again to the disciples at sea of Tiberias. And on the wise showed Himself. There were together Simon Peter and Thomas called Didymus, Nathanael of Cana of Galilee, and the sons of Zebedee, the two other of the disciples. Simon Peter saith unto them, I go a fishing. They say unto him, we also go with thee. See, it's kind of ironic that when you get into a certain mood, there's others always out there tempting to do the same thing, but they want somebody to lead them, whether it be into the old past or into what God has called them to be. They're looking for a leader. Are you that leader? There's people watching you out there. There is people looking and paying attention to what you're doing during this time. And it said that we also go with these. They went forth and entered into a ship, and immediately at that night they caught nothing. But when morning was now come, Jesus stood on the shore. But the disciples knew not that it was Jesus. Then Jesus said unto them, Children, have you any meat? They answered him, No. And he said to them, Cast the net on the right side of the ship, and they shall find. They cast, therefore they were not able to draw it for the multitude of fish. Therefore the disciples whom Jesus loved said unto Peter, It is the Lord. Now when Simon Peter heard that it was the Lord, he girt his fisher's coat around him, for he was naked. Sin will strip you down to nothing, won't it? Sin will take everything you had that God covered you in and leave you in nothing. And he did cast himself into the sea, and the other disciples come into the little ship, for they were not very far from land. But as it was for 200 cubits, dragging the fishes. And soon they were able to come to land, and they saw fire of coals there, and the fish lay thereon in the bread. And Jesus said unto them, Bring the fish which you have now caught. Simon Peter went up and drew the net to land full of great fish. He didn't say of fish. He made a point to say great fish. There is greatness in Jesus. There is greatness in serving God. There is greatness when you press. There is greatness when you don't go back. And there is greatness when you hear and you're subject to his voice. Oh God, there is greatness. And when they drawed it in, they was not yet, the net wasn't broken. And Jesus said unto them, Come and dine. And none of the disciples did ask him, Who art thou? Knowing it was the Lord. And Jesus then said, Cometh and taketh the bread and giveth them, and the fish likewise. This is now the third time that Jesus has showed himself to his disciples after he had risen from the dead. So when they had dined, Jesus said unto Simon Peter, son of Jonas, Lovest thou me more than these? And he said unto him, Yea, Lord, thou knowest I love thee. He said to him, Feed my lambs. He saith again unto him a second time, Simon, son of Jonas, lovest thou me? And he said, Yea, Lord, thou knowest that I love thee. And he said unto him, Feed my sheep. Thou said unto him the third time, Simon, son of Jonas, lovest thou me? Peter was grieved because he had said unto him the third time, Lovest thou me? And he said unto him, Lord, thou knowest these things. Thou knowest I love thee. And Jesus said unto him, Feed my sheep. There's a lot in that. I'm going to cover just a little bit today for you to give you some hope and something to think on this week. And go back and read it and talk to God for yourself. He ain't going to keep it from you if you ask him. If you seek him, you'll find him. But in this point in time, see, the devil thought that he had took away everything that Jesus had done. The devil thought he had won. The devil thought he had completed his task by taking Christ out. He thought he had done his plan and was done, and he didn't have to worry about this man named Jesus anymore. He thought they had done away with my God, as that song said. They thought they had done away with the King of Kings, but I'm here to tell you they didn't. We read in the scripture they didn't. They couldn't do it. Oh, they thought they was going to put a stone there and do away with him and nobody could move, but they didn't. Oh my goodness, I'm telling you, see, no matter what the enemy throws, no matter what people throw, God is always greater. See, you can't catch God off guard. You can't catch him unexpected. This virus didn't catch God off guard. You know what? Nothing transpires or happens without God allowing it to. There is scripture to back it up because he is God of all and he is God of everything. It don't matter what may come. They said, well, man did it. Well, God allowed them. It came for a purpose and a reason. And it's come to show the people that no matter what happens, if it's took us out of the building, so what? God is the same God on the lake. He's the same God in Jerusalem and Israel. He's the same God in the hospitals. He's the same God in every church building. But see, the church, they may have took our buildings right now and limited to them. They may have took all this. But when people realize the church isn't the building, it's you. Yeah. The church is you today. The church is, it's in you. Christ is in you. These people in these wonderful houses out here. God ain't coming back for that house. He's coming back for a church. And the church is his people. The church is the people that love God. Matthew 10 said, are they not two sparrows But they're numbered. They're numbered. Fear they not, because we are more valuable. You are more valuable than the sparrows. And if God sees fit to feed them and take care of them, how much more are we to Him? See, God knows what's in our tomorrow. He knows what was in our yesterday, but He also knows what's coming tomorrow. Are you willing to trust Him through till tomorrow? Are you willing to trust Him today to get to tomorrow? A lot of people, if you look in here, see when the disciples went back, when the disciples, they said it's over, it's done. Listen, how do you unsee what you've already seen God do? Could you imagine being there? You've seen the miracles and signs and wonders that Jesus did. The disciples walked with Him. They slept on the ground. Judas and all of them, they was there, and they was so close that they could reach out any night when Judas was lost. But yet he was called. Oh my God, he could have reached out. He could have reached this close to Jesus as they slept and said, "Jesus, save me." That's how close that you can get to Christ. But it's up to you to call upon the name of the Lord. It's up to you to require yourself accountable to what sins you've done and say, "Jesus, I need you now." But see, they was looking at the gloom and the doom of what happened. And they went back to what they knew, fishing. They went, see, people give up on God, and at this time, that's why that now is not the time to give up on God and go back to what you used to do. The people would pack the house full, the church is full, it's wonderful, but you are the church. That's a fellowship hall. You go there with fellow believers, but the church is to go out and serve God. And if you're not serving God and you went back to what you used to do, and you went back to the fishing or went back to the drinking or went back to the drugs and all, you gave up on God and you've grasped what you called common. But I'm here to tell you, you ain't serving a common God today. You're serving an uncommon God, a supernatural God. See, the natural thing, oh my God, Mosey, I'm telling you right now, you can serve the natural here and expect a paycheck. You can expect a reward or a gratitude or a thank you. But see, I serve a supernatural God that takes care of everything at one time. And just because He's over there taking care of something doesn't mean He ain't taking care of me and you here today. I'm on a river. You're in a house or in a car on the mountains. But see, God is the same God here as He is there because He dwells in us. Are you calling out? Oh my gosh. Are you calling out to Him? Boys, I'm about to run this. I'd like to see Jesus right now walk up on the water. It'd be wonderful, wouldn't it? It would be wonderful. But see, He's in you. He's in you. You come too far to go back. You come too far to go back. Hang on. Hang on with all you got and trust God. See, faith is not what you see, it's what you don't see. This wind is blowing, isn't it? Everybody feel the wind? You ladies feel the wind? You kids feel the wind up there? You feel the wind, don't you? You don't see it though, do you? When Jesus swings by, you feel Him. You may not see Him, but you see Him in what He uses. And He uses people, places, and things. The trees are... Oh, you better get me jumping right there. The trees are swaying back and forth. They've been playing here. They're worshiping a God that created them. He breathed breath into us. He spoke them to be, but He took the time out to say, I've got to do something special, and I've got to breathe my life into His. Oh my God. Why can't we give our life to Him? Why can't we worship Him with what He gave us to worship? Yes, we have jobs, and yes, we have duties. Yes, we are accountable to things in this life. But if you're not accountable to a man named Jesus Christ, it's all in vain. Yes. Hallelujah up there. We just sat on the porch, enjoying it. Amen. Amen. See, Jesus did all this for us. He died on the cross so this could transpire. Could you imagine if you had the reign of the devil? He don't reign no more. The only authority he has is the ones that you give him. He's defeated. He's beaten. He's taken out. He don't have the keys. He don't have access to your life unless you say, come sit down with me, boo. That's it. If you tell the devil to come sit down, you're making him your boo. You're telling Jesus, I ain't got time for you. God almighty. We ain't got time for that now. The devil shouldn't be your boo. The drugs shouldn't be your boo. The alcohol shouldn't be your sin. Shouldn't be your boo. Jesus should be the only one. Oh, hallelujah. Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh. Golly, see, we're living in the 2000s. We got to talk common to these people. See, they See, we ain't got no business cleaning them. We just catch them and we tell them the word and we let God clean them. You ain't got no right doing his job. You ain't got no purpose. You ain't hired to clean them. You're hired to fish for them. Let God do the rest. Oh, my Lord of mercy. You've come too far. You've come too far. See, the disciples came to... They've seen all these miracles. Signs and wonders. Dead people rose from the grave. Arms and leprosy healed. Leprosy healed. Oh, my gosh. He even told a woman all that no one else knew. But they went back. All because they focused on the gloom and the doom and they didn't focus on the sun. See, right now we need to focus on the Son of God more than ever. We don't need to the media will hype it up and throw it just crazy. Let me tell you, don't worry about the media, worry about your soul. It is far worth more than what the media has to offer. Your soul is what Jesus is coming for. Your soul is what makes you up. Who you are in the body of Christ. He's coming back for a bride. He's not coming back for something jacked up, halfway built, or a beautiful building, but coming back after you and me. If we are right, if we are ready, if we know who he is. You know who he is today. But Sam, and a lot of people know who he is, but I've noticed, I've looked, I've watched. God told us to be a watchman on a wall, didn't he? The Word of God says to be a watchman. And I've seen many go back to what they used to do, what they used to know. We're not having service no more. We're not having church no more. We can't get into the building no more. I'm just going to do what I used to do because I'm comfortable with it. Of course it's comfortable going back into something that you had to do in the dark when nobody's seen it. Oh my God. You've got to come out of the dark. You've got to come out of the world. See, we came out of the world, but now we're taking the gospel to the world. We're taking the gospel to the world. You don't think that by the commandment of God that he can't say anything out here and it to be? The wind blowing, God created. The fish swimming, God created. The things beneath the water that we don't see, God created. The very elements that supply the life of those fish, God created. I'm here to tell you the end isn't here. The Bible says in John 16:33, it says, "These things I have spoken unto you that ye might have peace in the world. Because in the world you shall have tribulation, but be of good cheer, I have overcome the world." See, people say, well, this is the end of time. Now, the Bible tells us that we're going to have trials and we're going to have tribulation. But there is a great difference and a mighty difference in a tribulation that you're going through now than the great tribulation that's to come. There's a huge difference. I'm teaching. I don't know if you're listening. You listening, ain't you? You listen. There's a difference in these tribulations now. Because during this tribulation, I can call up on the Father. But in the great tribulation, that spirit ain't going to dwell. These little things that we do, let them come and let them go. But we got to be justified and we've got to be accountable and we've got to keep knowing who Jesus is. We got to realize that no matter what storms come, what might tear the roof off of our house, what might set us aside and put us in a distance for a little while, these things shall pass, the Bible says. But eternity is forever. Eternity is forever. I'm not looking for a common fix. I'm looking for a supernatural fix. I'm not looking for a common man or a common doctor. I'm looking for a supernatural man named Jesus Christ. When supernatural meets natural, I promise you the natural is going to give. You know that? That's an immovable force meeting a movable object. God being the immovable force. You can't move God. You can't push him. Because see, God is a gentleman. He'll say if you want to be that ignorant. The Bible says if you want to be ignorant, the Bible says let them be ignorant. So God, you don't got to push him. He'll step out of your way and let you commit your own fault, your own failure. He'll let you sit back. He'll let you can't see you and your leaders can't see you, don't mean Jesus Christ can't see you, because he does. You may have went back to what you used to do, but I'm calling you out now. Now's the time. Hear this. Now's the time to get out and still proclaim the name of the Lord. Proclaim the King of Kings. Proclaim the one who created the universe and put that star in its place and told it to shine. And he put the universe in order and said circle and maintain and to hold its position. Man didn't do that. God did.
That's good.
God. So we've got to maintain our faith in God. You didn't say it. This is a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. A double-minded man is saying, well, I love God today, but this virus has got me so tore up, I got to have a drink, I got to have a smoke, I got to have a pill, I got to have something for my nerves. They ain't yet picked up the Word of God. And it said right in here, he said, I give you perfect peace. He is my peace. He is my deliverer. He is my healer. He is the one I have faith in. You know, we may cast the reel out here a little bit, try to catch us some perch or crappie. I don't know what we're going to do. Do you? I don't know. But the only thing I do know is Jesus Christ is faithful.
That's it.
Jesus Christ is faithful, and he loves us, and he loves you. In whatever condition you're in, he loves you. He just wants you to call out to him. God never sent nobody to hell. You send yourself. You literally bypass the blood of Christ. You walk over the, oh my God, they walk over the blood. See, in Egypt, when they sent a plague, and God sent a plague that passed over the blood, the sickness could not, it couldn't affect them, brother, because it passed over what God said it would. He gave it the right that said you got to pass over the blood. Now, if that sickness passed over the blood and it didn't harm them, think about this. If you step over the blood, and the blood was the protection from them, that blood is your protection today. And if you step over it, and you walk by it, and you don't apply it to your life, you're giving the devil access to your life. Golly. I don't know if you shared this. I don't know. You may have cut me off by now. But I guarantee you someone's heard this word today. We've got them on the porch up here. These fishermen back here have been following us for a little while, ain't they? I don't know. The word of God will not return void. His love won't return void. You may not love him, but he loves you. You may not even know how to receive the love of God. But I'm telling you, there's churches out there that will teach you that. And the last of that, the last of that, he told Peter 3 times. He said, go feed my sheep, tend to my sheep, feed my sheep. Because he said, do you love me? And he says, you know I love you. Then go do these things. Okay? He was already, he went back, right? He stepped back in his life and went back to fishing. See, there's pastors today, and there's leaders today, and there's Christians today that has went back to what they used to do because they don't have the, oh my gosh, we'll just go ahead and play. We'll be plain talk easy understood. They don't have the attention they used to get. But God didn't call you to have attention. He called you to feed his sheep. He called you to tend to his sheep. He called you to watch the flock, to tend and pray and help and reach out. You don't need a building for that. You need Jesus Christ in your heart for that.
Deep.
God, it is deep, ain't it? Tend to your sheep. This ain't just for the bridge. It ain't for just ecclesia, but it's for the entire world. If you're called of God and you're a leader and a pastor, tend to the sheep, feed the sheep, search for the lost one. Oh my God. Now's not the time for anybody to go to hell. I'm looking for a great revival. Listen, anytime anything bad ever came in the Bible, if you read, oh my God, that just get me excited. I got to get up on that number. Something happened in the Bible. Every time something came through as a death, as a killer or whatever happened, then something great come behind it. Even when, see, when they got to the sea and Moses was there, think about it. They said, what have you done? You've led us here to the edge of nothing. Common talking right here. Don't quote me verbatim for the word, but it is what it said. He got to the edge, and the sea was there, and behind him was Pharaoh, and they was going to kill them all. And so they turned on Moses, and they said, let's go back and serve. Let's go back and serve back and saying we can go back to what we had and be safe and calm, but grasp a hold of God and ask Him to split it. Oh God, oh God. Ask Him to split it and walk over on dry ground. Walk on dry ground in the name of the Lord. Oh Lord, have mercy. Can't tell me God ain't anywhere and everywhere. Whew. And when they walked on that dry ground, He still had some ignorant ones in the bunch, didn't He? Even with the, oh Lord, even with the miracles that He did right there, there was still some ignorant ones in the bunch that followed. God, you got to read that for yourself. You got to read some things for yourself. I'll teach you a lot of things, but come on, you got to teach yourself. You got to be accountable to read the Word for yourself. You got to be accessible to God when He calls on you at 3 a.m. in the morning, 4 a.m. Be accessible to do what He said to do. Who knows who's heard the Word of God today? But I guarantee you someone has. Yeah, but you got to see. I don't just pray that everyone will see. I've just got myself excited out here. Lord have mercy. Father God, Lord, we thank you today. We praise you today, God. You're the one who created this beautiful day. How'd you create? Oh God, yes, God. You created the very wind that carries your spirit and your voice. You created it all, God, and we call upon you, we worship you, God. Father, we honor you. God, have your will and your way, God. Use those that's called upon your name. Use those that are desiring to do something for God. God, use them, God. God, let the world realize that Jesus is the only way. God, let them realize that they don't need to go back, but to hold on to your garment during this time and press towards the mark of the high calling which is in Jesus Christ. God, don't let them waver, but show them, appear to them and speak to them and show them mighty things, God. God, I declare and decree, Father God, that this year may have started out a little bumpy, but God, I know that in you something is going to happen. That is this one. God, you told us something was coming. But God, you also said the greater was going to be in the later. The last is going to be greater than the first. What's about to come behind this is going to be greatness in God, and He will be recognized in this world. In the name of Jesus. Sing us another song, man.
I ran across this song. I've heard it for years. It's an old song. It's traditional, but we were coming through the lake, and I pulled up my phone. That's what I've kind of been playing, just to make sure I can play it. Almost everything the song says, he said, which now it's just wild how it happened. The song says, "Didn't I walk on the water?
Yes.
Didn't I calm the raging sea?
be out here at Gunpowder Access. And if you need baptized today, PM us. Inbox us. We'll meet you at the boat river. We'll baptize you today in the name of Jesus. You need baptism. I need my pastors on here today. If you're on here to my pastors in the bridge, I need you comment on here, share this, and come back and follow up with this. They might be someone that needs Jesus, and you need to go reach them. Get them here, and we'll baptize them. Amen? Amen? I hope they listen. I hope they watch. Hope they watch. We'll bid you Godspeed in Jesus' name today. Enjoy today and a beautiful day. Enjoy what God's gave you. Amen.